5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're back.
We're home, guys.
We are home. So, wow. It is Sunday night for us.
Yes.
Monday morning for you guys. Is this crooked?
Yeah.
How dare it be crooked?
No, it just seemed like they had an earthquake.
So, we're here at home, back at the cross wall, back in our living room. That is not a YouTube set. That's literally our living room.
Yes.
So, I know when people come visit, they're like, oh, this is the cross wall. Mm-hmm. When people visit, when people hang out. So, wow. I don't even know where to start.
I don't either.
So, I'll just start like this, is that we've been gone for a week. The first part of the week was for the Grace International Regional Conference.
Yes.
The reason I say regional is because every year we go, it's the International Leadership Conference. Man, I feel like it's crooked still.
No, it's okay.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Is my neck crooked?
I don't know, but all I know is that...
You're like on the bottom, so am I aiming it too low?
No, it's fine. Maybe.
That's weird. Like YouTube and then the faces at the bottom.
You have it lower than usual.
Yeah, I do, huh? Let me nudge it a little. There.
That's good.
Bam.
But,
so, because I want to be able to them to
I
see.
look like a raccoon eyes because number one, we're barely getting some rest today, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, eyes
So,
are all puffed up and swollen.
yeah, so we went to the leadership conference, regional leadership conference. Man, you know, it's funny. I'm going to tell this story to you guys, is that one of the first times, was it your first time when we took 8 people?
Yeah.
Before, this is at the very beginning, before we were even married. We went to the leadership conference. I slept on the couch. There was only 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, there were 3 bedrooms.
Right? So there was a couple married couples. We gave those bedrooms to them. And then there was a bedroom for the women. Something like that.
Yeah, because and then there were still married couples that decided that some of the men stayed...
Hang out with me.
Hung out in the living room, and some of the married women even stayed with me in one of the rooms.
So what happened was we weren't married yet. So we, as a group, we rented a house. And I, along with some of the brothers, slept on the couch. It was like a huge living room, remember?
Yeah, the married couples took turns in the room.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah, so because we were there for 3 nights. Mm-hmm. So a married couple got a room, and then... Anyways, that was the first and last time we ever went as a group. After that, we got married, and I always tried to announce and get people to go. Remember? Mm-hmm. And nobody would ever go, you know. And then one time when Sister Lydia and Pastor Aldo...
No, Lorena also went. Remember Lorena went?
Well, that same time, no?
No, it was another time when Lorena... It wasn't the last time we went as a group. We went as a very, very small group, but everybody stayed in their own...
Okay.
You know, at their own, but we were...
You're right,
married.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we would get a few people, right? Mm-hmm. But it was never a huge group or nothing. And so... Honestly, being that, and then it got canceled last year, right? So then this year came up, and it wasn't even going to be the international conference. You're like way down there.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it was going to be. It wasn't even an international. It was that means Pastor Thomas wasn't going to be there. Pastor Moses wasn't going to be there. A whole lot of people weren't going to be there. So we kind of sort of announced it a few times as you guys would watch on Sunday, but we didn't like really push for it. Long story short, including Phoenix, Arizona, because even then I threw the invite to Tony and Michelle thinking they were going to say no. I honestly thought you guys were going to say no, for reals. And Tony was like, yeah, we'll go, sure. And I'm like, what, really? 32 people, guys.
Yeah, that was really cool.
32 people, you know, so I'm going to use reverse psychology next time. Be like, I don't want none of you to go. So 32 people is our biggest group.
That's awesome.
Man, you know, I wish I would have had a little bit more time with the whole group. But it's really hard because there's 32 people, and of course everybody wants to do different things and whatnot, but it would have been nice to have a few moments. We did have one at the pool the last day.
Yeah, we tried to put one moment together where we had, but unfortunately, I think we just needed to. I guess we learn. There's a first time for everything, guys, and as we do more things like this, I think as a church whole, we will do itineraries and maybe we'll do things a little bit better. But this is our first time having such a big group this way. But, we did have one moment where we did have maybe a lot of us together at the pool.
Yeah.
Which was nice. I mean, but not everybody was there. Not everybody. But it would have been nice to have a moment where we could have all of us been together.
Yeah, so like for instance, Grace International has different regions, right? So even though we're to get, like, let's say a normal international one, right? They will get, like, I've never been invited to these because I've never been part of any committee or nothing. So remember, there's times where they would have a whole dinner for the international people. Yes. And then they would have the next night, another dinner with all of the committee people. All the board
members.
So, and then even this year, because I am on the board for the Northern District, got invited to the dinner.
Yeah, we got to go be with the people from the board members.
That was really cool, all these different pastors and district superintendents, and which I don't usually get to meet,
it was
and
really nice.
You were talking to a few of the wives, and so that was cool.
Yeah.
I say all that to say this is I realize not once, and this is like something you learn from, not once did I ever get a chance to sit down with House of Rest leaders. Yes. We got to a fellowship here and there at the beach, but there was...
We didn't even take pictures with our House of Rest leaders.
Yeah, so there was never a time. This is where we learn. I'm like, next time we got to schedule it in because, of course, everybody likes to do things, but it would have been nice to have sat down with the leaders of House of Rest outside of Modesto to just talk and just share each other's hearts,
Yeah. Well, some leaders did get together.
Yeah, and that didn't happen. So, but like I said, it's all about planning. It's all about learning. It's all about itineraries, but anyways, it was great, right? I said it in the sermon, man, so I'm not going to hide it. I enjoyed the fellowship, not to take anything away from the conference, but conference ain't the same without Pastor Thomas there. I'm sorry. It's just not the same.
I love our mission.
Yeah, Pastor Moses.
Yeah, missionaries, yeah.
So even though everybody went, it was great, but man, to me, I felt the absence of the international pastors.
Yeah, me too.
But it was nice to...
And we got to meet a new one, though, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam,
he's taking over for George in India. And man, he was awesome. But I don't regret it. We had a good time. But then after getting there Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're checking out. I'm literally walking to the car. You're handing the keys over to the hotel as we're walking out. And Sharon gets a phone call from her daughter. You guys probably know all this because we've talked about it on video. We talked about it Sunday service about what happened to her son. And so it went from conference to literally boom. We were all thought we were going to get in the car and head home, and plans were changed. And we rushed to San Fernando, which is north of Los Angeles. It's kind of connected, and we've been there ever since.
Yeah, we were there, guys, and
that was Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday, and I know that. When was our anniversary?
Thursday.
Thursday was our anniversary, and it's so crazy because Wednesday, we were literally, I think, at Westwood. We took him to Westwood Emergency again for a second opinion from another doctor and some eye doctors. And then on Thursday, we took him to USC to see some retina specialist, or to make an appointment with a retina specialist and to see an eye doctor there at USC, some specialists there, and they were more optimistic in saving his eyesight. And and they did a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
which were just a lot more hopeful. So we were there all day, and it was crazy because that was our anniversary that day. So I remember we were so tired, guys. I'm not kidding. That we parked somewhere out there in downtown LA somewhere, and it was warm, but you know, we parked on the side. We opened up the windows a little bit,
shade.
and I think we kind of fell asleep in the car on the side of the road.
Because you guys know nobody can go into the hospital. We were lucky the fact that Christopher's wife was allowed in the hospital.
Yeah.
They took like 6 hours. So
Yeah.
we just had
We
nowhere to
didn't know,
go.
we didn't have nowhere to go, so we just like kind of just parked around places, and we fell asleep for like an hour and a half maybe, and it was crazy because we just looked at each other and we just started cracking up. We were cracking jokes, like him and I, about our anniversary.
We're like, happy anniversary. Yeah,
We just
so-
cracked jokes, and I'm like, so how did you spend your anniversary? And he's like, well, how did you spend your anniversary? You know, but you know what? At the end of the day, man, we can't complain because we're together, you know, and yeah, I think, what did we end up having? I think we ended up having a sandwich at Jersey Mike's, and I said,
Yeah, well, it got, after falling asleep, we woke up all hot. So I turned the car on, and I'm like, I can't leave this idling for hours.
Yeah.
We were there for like 20 minutes with the car idling with the air conditioner on, and I'm like, we got to go somewhere. We were hungry. And then there was a Ross and a Jersey Mike's at the same parking lot, remember?
yeah, and guys, you guys got to remember that we went to a conference. All I had were 2 pairs of heels and one pair of sandals. Here's the crazy thing. For the first time, me and him looked at each other and we're like, yeah, we're gonna pack light. We're not gonna pack heavy. We're gonna pack light because we don't want to be carrying all kinds of stuff with us. So we literally just took what we needed this time
For that
for this,
Monday, Tuesday, and then drive home
and
Wednesday.
that was it. So I packed my dress up clothes, and I packed some heels, and that was it. And so did he. He just packed up his dress shoes and a suit and maybe a few t-shirts, and
Yeah, some pair of shorts.
that was it, guys. And I was literally wearing sweats, and actually I had to, no, take it back, guys. I didn't even have any of that. I was wearing some dress up pants with some sandals, and I don't even remember what I was wearing, guys. To be honest, I looked really tore up, I'll tell you that much. And I told David, I need to go to a Ross or something. I'll buy some sweats. I'll buy anything, you know, just to throw on whatever I have. All I have is dress up clothes. I have a few blazers, and that's about it. And the t-shirt, the house arrest t-shirt that we made. So I think that's what I had on, the house arrest t-shirt. And I said, okay. So we ended up going to Ross, and I bought myself some sweats and a sweatshirt, and I look kind of funny with it, you know, some sandals and, you know, some sweats and a sweatshirt. But guys, it was just a sort of a day. And then the crazy thing is that day's over. We're tired. You know, when you're in other people's house, even if it's our kids' home, you know, he has all kinds of people coming over to visit him, you know, because we're staying in the guest room, but then there's all kinds of people coming over. You know, I'm helping him kind of organize and everything, but he has guests over. So you really can't rest, guys. It's really hard to rest, you know.
And we were already exhausted from
the drives and everything.
From the conference. That was already tiring. Already.
Well,
And then
I was already tired too, because I had just had that procedure last week when they overdosed me on fentanyl, guys. You know, I hadn't even gotten over that. Yeah. I was still trying to, you know, all of that. And then, you know, then we had something. What happened on Saturday?
Something happened. I don't know.
We did something on Saturday. God, there was something that we did. You went to go speak at that car show.
Oh, yeah. I went to a car show because I was scheduled to speak there back like 3 months prior.
Yes.
And it was hot, man. I was drained. I was dehydrated. So that's the day before the conference.
And guys, I was already feeling really, really like drained and everything from, you know, that thing that happened at the hospital on that Wednesday when they did that procedure. And I was feeling it, guys. I really was. So after, that procedure. And then the car show Saturday, then Sunday comes, and then we leave, and then the conference, and then this. And I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. And then I'm just like, whoa. And then my mom decides that she doesn't want to be away from my son with all this going on. So she decides, I want to come home.
Because she wasn't supposed to come back till next week.
Yes. Next week, she was supposed to come home from Honduras, but she booked the flight back. And guess what time her flight comes home, guys? Almost at midnight on Friday.
So we're exhausted. We got to pick her up at LAX. It takes us 40 minutes to find her. Or for her to get off and get her luggage.
It was 1:30 in the morning.
So
by the time we got to her house, we had to pack up the whole car, have everything ready, take everything off at my daughter's because we didn't have enough space for her luggage. Get back in the car, take off to LAX, pick her up. Took us a long time to find her.
Took us an hour to get home.
Yeah, by 2 something.
Yeah,
by 3 o'clock, we're in bed, guys.
3 o'clock, we're in bed, and we have to get up at 8 in the morning the next day. And I got to drive home Saturday because I got to preach Sunday. So it was rough, man. It was a rough ride home. You knocked out most of the time. I knocked out a few times, actually, and I would pull over. One time I ended up getting those Bang drinks. I don't really like drinking those, but boy, they keep me up.
Yeah.
So that and pistachios, and we just got home, and wow. And then to have to get up, today's is our Sunday, to get up and to preach. And so we're a little discombobulated. If you watch the service, when we're doing announcements, we're a little off. I apologize. I'm only human,
Me too.
But overall, I think we had a great service. I think the people received the message. I think people liked it. I had a few people say, man, it felt like I was in class or something, learning, when they was talking about Saturn, that it rains diamonds, and just different things, that we had talked about on the drive, actually. Some stuff I was learning, I would be like, Sharon, did you know it rains diamonds in Saturn? And
yeah, we would have good conversations, though.
Yeah, so hopefully you had a chance to watch Sunday's service, but man, it's been a doozy, and you're going back.
Yeah, I'm going back. I was supposed to go back tomorrow, guys. Today for you guys, but I can't, guys. I can't. I need a little bit of rest, and so I'm going to go back tomorrow, which is Tuesday, for you guys.
Because he has a big appointment Wednesday.
Yeah, he has a very, very big. Abraham's still over there. Abraham's very inseparable with his older brother, and
so Ben had to do the media solo today
by himself. So thank you, Ben, for doing that. But I'm just really, and then, as you guys know, our guitarist, he's on baby watch right now. Congratulations, because I know that you guys are kind of getting ready there, for these
twin
babies coming really, really soon. So I know that Katie's kind of getting ready. So Ruben has to be there with her. Yeah. So he will not be playing the guitar for some time. So I needed to do worship with Sonia this morning, and that's why, I would have, not have done it, but I'm really glad that I was there, guys, to be able to do worship. And so I will be leaving on Tuesday. I will be back on Friday, so that we can be here to get baptisms going, and then I'll be leaving again on Monday.
Yeah. So I have a lot of work to do, so I'll be staying home. Next week, I don't know. We'll play it by ear. I know she's going to go back depending on what's happening. It's a little hard to get work done over there, and man, I'm so backed up on quite a few things, and so we'll see what happens. But for sure, this week she's going, and just keep her in your prayers, and guys, and just keep her in your prayers, because not only just prayers and safety. It costs money. It really does, just the gas and stuff. So,
for strength, guys. Just that strength. I need that strength. physically, mentally, and everything. I just David doesn't David doesn't do all the things that I'm used to doing event wise and everything. And that's why today, I was really honest with everybody and I said, hey, listen, I need you guys to step in and, because we have the baptisms coming up. We have, our family barbecue coming up on the 31st, and I know that I have different ministries that are going to be doing different little tables and areas for our kids to have games and stuff. And we want to make it special for our kids, from our families. And it's going to be a special day for us just to be able to fellowship and get together. So, these are things that for me, administrative wise and everything that I love to organize and put together. And there's just so much that goes into putting these things together. And I'm usually the one that, stays back and gets these things going. But with me not here, it's hard to do that. So I will be taking my laptop and I will be, talking to people, probably having meetings from over there. I'm going to be practicing worship from, I'll be Zooming, doing some worship practice from over there. I'll just be doing my best to my ability, guys, with what I can. But I'm just going to say that, be patient with me, bear with me. If there's anything if I don't get back to you right away and there's anything that you expect from me, just bear with me, reach out to me and just, let me know, hey, I reached out to you before and maybe I haven't answered you, I apologize, because I know there's a few people that are expecting a few things from me that I haven't been able to get to you. I know there's a few Who Are You books.
Who what?
The Who Are You books.
Oh, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I know that Sister Joanna is waiting for one, and maybe there's a few other people that wanted one mailed out to them. So we're barely going to get those mailed out to you probably this week. So we'll get them out, guys, okay?
Yeah. One of the things that got to catch up on is actually the Who Are You book. Remember, you guys, every week I was writing a chapter, and at the conference, I didn't have no time to write because everybody's around. And then, this thing happened and there was nowhere for me to just go and write. So that is backed up. And we want to just get that going, because it has to stay fresh in the mind because it's the way it needs to come out, but it'll get done. I mean, everything, is in God's timing and it's going to be fine, And, but I really hope it felt good to be at service today. It really felt good to see some of the faces of, of people at the church. Well, some of them we saw them all week because we were there with us,
Yeah.
But those of you that didn't go, and, but yeah, man, a few people approached me and they're like, man, I never heard about it raining diamonds in Saturn and just different stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, so that was very interesting. It was interesting to hear the feedback from today's sermon because it was a little different than what it normally is,
Yeah.
So, were you looking for something?
Yeah, I just, I wanted to share because I know that as we were driving, I know you had mentioned to me, because I said, I hadn't gotten emotional or anything like that. And you were like, yeah, I realize that. But it's not because, and it's not because, I guess mainly because I trust the Lord, and because I know that God is really sustaining, me. And for a moment, I sat there and I'm like, Lord, I thought to myself in other moments, in other situations, in other times, I remember that things used to be so different for me, that I used to worry a lot, and my reactions would be so different.
Yeah.
And I see such a growth in myself even. And it's so different now.
Yeah.
Because, guys, I have to say this because in the last few years, I have seen such a growth in the way I handle even situations with my children and in certain things. And if this would have probably happened years ago, I probably, when my daughter was telling me, I think she was worried about telling me. It took them almost, it happened at nighttime on
9:30 at night?
on Tuesday at night. And they didn't contact me till
11. Checkout time.
yeah, checkout time, because they were so concerned to tell me, but they felt that they needed to tell me because he was going to go into emergency surgery, and because now they saw the extent of it, that they felt like we need to call mom. And they were like, Mom, we need you before anything. We just make sure you're calm. And I said, wait a minute. You need to just start talking, I was kind of getting mad, actually. Like, you need to speak up. And, but the thing is that I was calm. I think I was more like that moment where, like
just say it.
like, just say it, because my heart was just at that moment was...
Because you automatically think death.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I was being prepared for just anything at that moment. But when she did say that, it was a relief to just know that he was going in for surgery. But I just began to pray, guys. And that's when I just said, I don't receive it. I told her I don't receive it. And she just said, what? And I said, I don't receive it. I said, and we're going to pray right now. And I said, and we're going to pray. I'm just going to pray for my son right now. And I go, and we're going to pray for your brother. And I did, and I just wanted to know, okay, what hospital, da-da-da. And I just asked specifics. And I went in and I told David, and I just gathered myself up, and that's when you just gotta, you just gotta keep it going, and you gotta keep it moving.
Yeah.
And I needed to do that because I also needed to see Abraham. I needed to allow Abraham to see my composure. I needed him to see that example. It was important. But when we got with my family, it was important for my family to see that too.
Yeah.
It was important for me to speak to my family with composure, for my family, for my son himself, to see, the calmness, for him to see the strength, and for me to be able to lead with strength, and to just be there and be that strength for them, and for us to share words of wisdom with them and to speak life into them. Because apart from the injury and all of that happening, it shattered their spirit, guys. It really, really shattered their spirit. You got to understand that here you have a thriving engineer, somebody, they just got married, they just got their home, their careers and everything. And then all of a sudden something comes and just like, that's enough to want to take away all of that. And he's the man, he's the provider, and he's the provider of his family. And he was thriving in his career, guys. And I believe that he's going to continue thriving in his career, to be honest with you. I believe that this is not the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, that your sight, that's devastating to anybody.
Yeah.
That's devastating to an 18-year-old that don't have a job, ain't going to school, plays PlayStation all day long.
Yeah.
And you lose sight in one eye. Like, that's devastating regardless.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the senses, one of the five senses we have, know?
I remember what it did to when Abraham, when he lost the use of his hand for that time. Yeah. Abraham, Abraham has metal in his left hand. Is his left one, right, babe?
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, his left hand with screws. And a lot of people don't know that, guys. A lot of people don't know that Abraham, he had bone that was actually dead bone in his hand, and he could not bend his hand at all. He could not bend his fingers or his hand. So when they did an ultrasound and they did an x-ray and everything, they found that there was just dead bone that needed to be removed. And when they removed it, they found that they couldn't remove it all because his whole hand would have collapsed and he would have lost complete use of it completely. So what they did is they ended up fusing it, and they ended up putting metal in there with like 7 screws. And he still cannot bend it all the way, but they said that he was never going to be able to regain all use of his hand, and that within 5 years that they were going to end up most likely giving him another surgery and put a robotic hand. But guess what, guys? He has regained 90 something percent use of his hand.
Yeah.
90. This is a 19-year-old kid, who does our media. 90% use of his hand he has regained, and he can't bend it, he can't move it, but you know what, guys? He has the strength in his hand back. Mm-hmm. And they told him he was never going to be able to do that. Have we had to maybe change the handlebars on his bike and get it custom made? Then yeah, big deal. Will he ever be able to go into the service the way he wanted him to do in the armed forces or the Navy? No, he won't be able to do that. But guess what? He won't be able to play football ever again or do the things but he's able to do a lot of the things that he was told that he was never able to do. He's able to do them. And I praise God for that. So I believe, like I told my son, honey, you're going to be able to do a lot of the things that I know that you think that you may never be able to do again. You're going to do them because the Lord's going to give you the capability and the ability to do it. So, I know his spirit is shattered, but that's where I know God is going to come in and he's going to build him up once again. So I know we serve a big God. I know we do.
Yeah. I wanted to define something. Then maybe that's what we'll talk about today is that when Sharon told her daughter, I'm not receiving that. Okay. I want to explain that because somebody of you might be like, what does that mean? Because the reason I say is because a lot of times there's the name it and claim it gospel, and that is not what we're talking about. And I'm going to, how I use examples or analogies, and I'm going to use this analogy, right? Is let's say you have a son or a daughter or a loved one, okay? And they are about to run a race, Olympics or high school, it doesn't even matter, whatever, right? So they're about to run a race, and you're cheering for them, and they're in first place, and you're getting loud, and you're getting riled up, and they're at the 100 meters, close to the finish line, and you're cheering, but now somebody's starting to catch up, and they're getting close to 75, and this other person is like shoulder to shoulder with them, and 50 meters, and 25 meters, and they're shoulder to shoulder. So it looks as if they're gonna lose. So do you stop cheering when somebody is even with them? What if the person is actually a little ahead of them, but there's still 50 meters to go?
You keep cheering.
At what point do you stop cheering for your loved one as you're watching them run this race? The answer is you don't.
You don't stop cheering.
You don't stop cheering because the race ain't over until the race is over. So in the spiritual sense, it's not a name it and claim it. It's like, Lord, prepare my heart for whatever's going to happen, but I'm not going to quit cheering. I'm not going to quit cheering. I don't care what that doctor says. I don't care what these people say because God, you can make anything happen.
Yeah.
That is different than the name it and claim it. Mm-hmm. Because, for instance, my aunt who died of cancer, I told her to her face, as we sat in the living room, I told her, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're not going to stop praying.
Yeah.
I don't care when they said stage 1, when they said stage 3, when they said stage 4. We're not going to stop. And I remember telling her, we're not going to stop praying for you no matter what.
Stop.
You know what? We didn't stop. And she did pass. But you know what? When I face her in heaven, I can face her with my head high and say, I prayed for you to the last second.
Yeah.
Till the race of life was done with.
Stop.
I didn't stop at the 100 meter. I didn't stop at the 50 meter, 25 meter. We don't stop. So in the same way, you know, when you have a loved one that's going through something, when you have somebody that is suffering, or you yourself is going through something, don't give up. Yeah. You hold on to your hope in Christ. You continue forward. Matter of fact, if our child was racing, or a nephew, or whoever was racing, and somebody was a neck and neck with them, I think we would get even louder.
Well, it's just
because you're trying to give them an ánimo. Is that the word?
Ánimo. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, for instance, Tristan, he made 2 touchdowns.
I know.
Can you imagine if some kid was about to grab the flags and all of a sudden you stop cheering? No, you got louder.
Yeah.
Because you want to, come on, you can do this.
Pushed him to go even faster.
So in the same way, guys, this is what we do.
Well, it's just like if we were to say, like, you know, man, at that hospital, they said that there was just no more hope, mijo. Like, you know, that's it. And I said, no. I said, we're going to go for a second opinion.
Yeah, the first doctor was like, nothing we can do.
There's nothing we can do.
Blind.
That's it. He just has to give up. That's it. And I said, no. I said, second opinion. Let's go. I'm going to make the appointment. And you keep pushing. You keep pushing. Because we got to go for another opinion. And we went to another place. And guess what? That place, you know, they did better tests. They had better equipment. And you know what? They were able to see something even further into. Evaluation was even better. And you know what? They were more hopeful and more optimistic. And they said, you know what? They were truthful. And they said, it's going to be a long journey. It's going to take a lot of surgeries. But you know what? There is hope. There is hope. And you know what that did? Those spirits of theirs, his spirit and her spirit, were lifted. And you know what happens when somebody's spirit gets lifted? It gives them hope. And when you have hope, oh my gosh.
Anything's possible.
Yes. Your faith grows and you just, man, there's pep in your step. It's like that's what you need. You need pep in your step. Your confidence builds up. Your self-esteem builds up. Everything. It releases good endorphins. It releases some joy. Something begins to release. Something is released.
Yeah.
Man.
I remember when my nephew, little Angel, was born. My brother Angel, Pastor Angel's son, his oldest son, actually. You know, and it's like they told him that he wouldn't be able to ever play sports because his lungs were not developed. And they sat him down and my sister-in-law down, and they said, you know, we just want to share with you, because they had him on oxygen, they had him on all this stuff. They're like, his lungs didn't develop, his heart isn't developed. He's going to be fine, he's going to survive, but he will never be able to run like a normal child. He will never be able to play sports. Let me say this. We called that kid the flying squirrel. This kid was so hyper his entire life. Now he's, what is he, 20, 19?
He's 19, going on 20.
Plays basketball like nothing.
Yeah.
Is so active, healthy, lean, you know, and it's just like, and my brother's like, yeah, I don't care what those doctors said. Matter of fact, they told him he was so delicate, he couldn't even touch him. And my brother was like, I got to pray for him. I got to lay hands on him. I got to do it. And they're like, you have to, where you stick your hands in those glove things inside the little bubble.
Yeah, the incubators.
Yeah. And they said, this is the only way. When the doctor left, you know what he did? He goes, no, heck no. He goes, I'm the dad. I'm about to lay hands on my son. He took those things out, laid his hands on my nephew, and prayed in Jesus' name for healing. And that boy, man, flying squirrel, man. He was a little too excited when he was growing up, you know, but we don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, so the doctor, so the doctor said that. So what, imagine if they would have babied him and coddled him and not, that would have been horrible.
Yeah.
That would have been devastating.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I think those are some important things, guys, that we just, you know, make sure that we know that our strength is in the Lord, through every circumstance, even when we feel that when the situations and the circumstances are really, really hard. When it looks like the chances are slim to none, don't forget that Jesus is the only chance in our life. He's the only one that can fix all circumstances.
Yeah.
He's the only one that is a solution to all. There's no problem, no circumstance, there's nothing that he cannot fix.
He's indescribable.
Yes. He's so amazing. And as much as somebody can be like, oh yeah, well, it's just so hard, I made such a bad decision and this is the consequences for those decisions. Well, you know what? Well, even when you make bad decisions, even when we make bad decisions, he's so merciful. Mm-hmm. He's so merciful. And that's the beautiful thing, is that he's such a forgiving God and that he loves us anyways. And he still has so much compassion towards us, and he loves us because he never wants to see us go through the hardships. And he says, daughter, son, I love you so much. And I took that pain. I took all of that on that cross for you.
Yeah.
I just, my kids knew the Lord since they were really, really little. And, I had to remind my son that, the other day and say, son, God loves you. He loves you so much. And maybe you won't see it right now, but I pray that the Lord does reveal that he wants you. He wants your heart. He wants your heart, and he wants to show his love to you once again. And sometimes we need to remind our kids, no matter how older they get, guys. Sometimes our kids, they may slip out of our arms because they're already so much older and everything. But they're never too old for us as mothers to remind them on how much we love them and how much we love them with the love of Christ and how much Jesus loves them.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to be able to tell them and be able to just look at them and be like, son, Jesus loves you and I'm praying for you, and, and he loves you so much and he's never forgotten about you. Yeah. We got to remind them.
Sometimes they grow up thinking they don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
There's this old episode on that show, The Walking Dead, where the young kid, Rick Grimes' son, what's his name?
Oh,
Carl. And Carl grows up, and he's like a young, what is he, like 13, 12?
Maybe around that age, yeah.
And he thinks he don't need his dad anymore. It's a great episode. Like I said, guys, I see all kinds of stuff, and I see the gospel and everything.
Yeah.
And he's so rebellious and angry at his dad. And his dad is really busted up and exhausted and beat up. His ribs are either bruised or broken, and he's laid out. And his dad won't wake up. And Carl, he's like, I don't even need you, Dad. I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. You don't need to protect me. I can watch myself. And I think we approach God like that. We look at our Father in heaven. We're like, man, I'm grown. I got a job. I have a career. I got money in the bank. I got a spouse. I don't need you anymore. Yeah, I needed you when I was locked up. I needed you when I was this. But you know what? I don't need you anymore. And he went out and ventured on his own in the show. And he almost died. And he came back with a different heart. And we need to come back to our Father in heaven with a different heart and say, Lord, I'm sorry. I said I didn't need you, but you know what? I have no idea what I'm doing out here. I do need you.
I think there's times and situations that our kids become, and no matter what age, they become vulnerable.
Yeah.
They become vulnerable because there had been times where I realized that, I feel like sometimes my son had become resentful towards me at times.
Yeah.
And, through all of this, you know, it seems like when I moved up here, guys, and everything, I feel like he had become kind of a little bit hard towards me at times when I moved over here.
Yeah, because I'll take you to see him, and he would be very cold to you. Remember?
Yeah, he had gotten a little resentful towards me. And that was hard because I've raised my kids on my own all my life, you know, and he was the oldest, and it was really, really hard for me because sometimes he'd say things that were very snappy, and they'd be very hurtful sometimes. And I wasn't used to that. And David caught it. But it you know, after this happened, you know, I felt like he was like my vulnerable little boy again, like needing mom.
But I think he needed to see too, not only you, but even me. Like, I was there. It wasn't comfortable sleeping in that car for 6 hours. But you know what? It was our anniversary. If I was that kind of guy where, oh, he ain't my son, and it's our anniversary, what are we doing here? Like, that didn't even come into my mind. My concern was for his eye. I had forgot it was our anniversary. We were so preoccupied, you know, and just driving him there, and then the next day he had to go to another appointment, and we go and drive all the way over there, and those are the things you got to do. And I hope that it showed him my heart. Well, I think he already sees my heart already over the last couple of years, but I think that showed him something different, even more so.
Yeah.
Because, guys, we win them over to Christ by being Christ, by being that example. You can preach till you're blue in the face, but if you don't walk the walk, if you don't walk what you're talking, matter of fact, you actually do more damage. You know, I would rather just walk this thing out in Christ, you know, and
I said I wasn't going to cry, but I'm not crying in front of him, guys. I'm crying with you guys.
And those are the things that people see. Those are the things that people realize, you know. So, but yeah, man, we missed you guys.
Yeah, we did.
We will again formally apologize. We didn't give you guys a devotional all last week. We thought, we won't give them a devotional while we're at the conference. Yeah. I'm thinking they'll be fine with half a week of devotionals. But then this happened, so it prolonged the entire week with no devotionals. I try to throw in little videos of our activities at the beach, and it's just to kind of, I didn't want to leave you guys, you know, high and dry. I even made a little short video about when Louis made spread. Did you see that one?
No, are you serious?
It's like a little 1 minute video.
Oh my God.
You know? So guys,
I did not see any of that.
I did those little videos, guys. I hope you appreciated it because I didn't want to just leave you high and dry with nothing. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to get little footage here and there, share with you guys. So you guys feel in the loop because you guys are along the ride with us. I don't want you ever to feel outside the loop, you know? And that's why we did those. But it does feel good to be back here. And even though Sharon is leaving Tuesday, we told each other that we would still do devotionals through Zoom.
Yeah.
So
we'll do a little split screen, guys.
Yeah, so actually she's gonna take one of my, I have a little light, actually this one. Bam.
Why do you gotta blind me for?
I don't know. So she's gonna take a light, and we have another tripod that holds the phone. That way she can use that. That way we can actually give you devotionals all week long. So, good?
Sounds like an idea.
But we'll still do one tomorrow.
Yes,
yeah.
For sure.
So really, it'll be a Zoom one for Wednesday night, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, we can do one.
Yeah, so...
Yep, that means I gotta learn how to be technical on my own over there, guys.
We don't have to do nothing. All you gotta do is accept the Zoom call.
Am I gonna take this?
No, because you won't be able to hear me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to be able to hear me.
Still gonna learn to be technical, guys.
So I'm thinking of just using your phone. That way all the technical is still on my side.
Oh.
With the Zoom.
Sounds good.
That way all you gotta do is accept the Zoom call and that's it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. God bless you. Have a great day, a blessed day.
Love you guys.
Good to see you guys again. Good to be
Yes.
back home. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your continued prayers for Christopher. Continue to
Yes.
just pray and
And let's keep you guys continue praying for those that have COVID.
yeah.
Yes, I've had a few more people.
Yeah, Ernie has
message me.
has a family member and a friend.
Yeah, and Sister Rihanna, I know that has been quarantined and she started to get a few symptoms. So let's keep her in prayer. I know Sister Sonia was taking her one of the care packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was taking her one of the care packages today. That remember the ones that were put together
Oh,
by that
yeah,
couple
yeah,
and everybody.
yeah.
Yeah. So we got one of those out to her today. Sister Sonia was dropping it off with those greens that she was taking from her vegetable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from her garden.
Yeah, I asked her, is that a plant? She goes, no.
They're collard greens and greens.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They just, I said, so you can eat them like lettuce? She goes, yeah.
Yeah, she was taking that to her so she can make it, and then we're taking a bag to her. So keep her in prayer, guys, and just pray for everybody, guys. It's still out there, you know, and we just want to make sure that everybody stays healthy. You know, I'm seriously, guys, myself, I'm like so ready to just do something to change my whole eating schedule and everything, because I seriously need to lose 30 pounds. So I'm going to do it. That's it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold myself accountable to you guys. Watch. I'm going to do it. And that's the only way I'm going to do it. But anyways, besides that, if you guys do want to sign up for the baptisms, please do it within this week. We already have.
Well, they have to because we do it this weekend.
Yeah, it's this weekend on the 17th of October 2021. In case you're watching this video another year or something or another month, but it's October 17th, 2021. And we do have close to over 23 signups already.
Yeah.
So, let me know and I'll get over. I do have some forms to send to you if you do or if you're interested, okay? I'll talk to you later.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.